Wow, what a wonderfully relaxing night that was. Great little campsite there. I mean, I don't know, it was very easy to hang my bear bag right where I could see it. And you gotta love these like pine needle, bases, this ground. It's like, I pulled my stakes out this morning, my tent stakes. They're not muddy. The ground is just soft and dry everywhere, comfortable to lay on. You can sit down anywhere, everything's not a mess. Just very quiet, no people around. I mean, no people around. I even had my phone on playing a little bit of music, which I never ever do really out here. And it's just silent. I didn't see a soul last night. Just got to eat my dinner and hang out and do a few things. And yeah, it was really good. So, ready to get going today. I've got, I can't even remember, I think about 29 miles to get to Monson, where my next box is, the big box that'll get me all the way through to at least to Able Bridge, which is the beginning of Baxter State Park, which is where Katahdin is. So it'll get me at least through to there. And then, I'll talk more about that later, but depending on when I can summit Katahdin, I may need to pick up a little extra food there. But anyway, so 30 miles, 29 miles, I will not do today. I will do as much as I feel like doing. And then the rest, I will do tomorrow morning in time to meet the guys from the hostel that I can't remember the name of now, in Monson, to pick me up, get me to the post office. So, Shaw's Hiker Hostel. So anyway, that's my day. Haven't looked a lot. I know I have one decent-sized mountain to do here, real close at the beginning. Well, no, not that close. I descend a lot from the mountain I was on last night. Descend for quite a while, which is good because I have almost no water whatsoever since I stopped on top of this mountain last night. And so it'll be an easy descent down to some water this morning in about 3 or 4 miles. And then I will have one big mountain to do today. Then the rest will just be, I'd say, a bit like some of the stuff yesterday, where I'm just a little up and down and nothing too strenuous for the remainder of the day. I feel like I've been hiking long enough and fast enough this morning that I should be getting real close to my water source. There's supposed to be a stream up here. Whew, I am in need. Well, dang it, that's the source, and there's nothing really running, which kind of stinks. But the good news is, normally I'd just have to kind of make the best out of that, but I know there's a pond and then also a stream that says you have to ford it, which tells me it's a pretty big one, which is only about maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile up here. And even though I doubt we have to ford it, we might, but the streams have been so low that I'm guessing I won't have to ford it, or at least not much of it, maybe just a few steps in it. And then, but it should be flowing plenty good enough to get some good water. So I'm gonna just try to wet my mouth and go on. Okay, those were good. I don't know how far I'm gonna get today if I keep running into these all along the way. I'm gonna park myself here and drink a bunch and filter a bunch more and yeah, rehydrate. Whew, those blueberries really help though. Alright, I spent way too much time dilly-dallying around this morning, eating blueberries and filtering water, having another snack, and so it's time to get rolling. I got a lot of miles to do today. Alright, I'm getting ready to climb Moxie Bald Mountain. This will be my one real climb for the day. I think I'm only doing maybe around 1,300 feet. Over, I can't remember, a couple miles I think, so shouldn't be horrible. And then down the other side, and then lots of walking the rest of the day. I guzzled that liter of water, so I added 2.2 pounds to my body. And I stuck 2 more liters of water, filtered 2 more liters into I've got into my pack, and so that's 4.4 more pounds. So I just added 6.6 pounds to myself, and I can feel it. But since I, mildly dehydrated myself last night by not having any water up the top of the mountain where I camped, well, not having enough, but I had it anyway. I want to make sure I have plenty so I can really get myself back in the right place over the next couple hours. Oh no, more blueberries. It's interesting, the last couple of days, the southbounders I'm meeting, several of them do not have a trail name yet. And so, somebody might be, Richard or Stephanie when I ask them, what their name is or introduce myself. And I kind of just forget. I've been doing this for so long now. And everybody out here knows me as Fix It. Nobody really knows me as Greg. Maybe a couple of people who, I introduced that way or for whatever reason. Sometimes, every once in a while, there'll be a person that's a little older that, just would prefer to use regular first name. So I'll just tell my first name. But anyway, I forget that a whole bunch of these people have only been on the trail for, maybe 2 weeks. And they don't have a trail name yet. And in fact, as I'm getting closer to Katahdin, I'm also noticing that the southbounders are, is in general, not entirely, but getting a little bit more quiet and a little more reserved. And, I think that's probably, it's just a guess, but probably also a product of being new on the trail. There aren't nearly as many people that do the trail southbound. So, I doubt that the southbounders have quite the same community going on. And, they've probably been out here largely by themselves, not really conversing with a ton of people and introducing themselves to a ton of people. And maybe just, you know, that whole social interaction, community interaction thing hasn't quite built up yet with them. I don't know. Anyway, it's interesting to see the transformation and the difference. When you see a northbounder up here, you know it's like that person's been walking for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles. And they're just like, man, hey, I'm such and such. What's happening? You know, this is my domain out here. I'm getting to crawl through this, getting ready to crawl through this, and you would not believe the cool breeze coming through. I think I might stand here for an hour. Whew. That feels good. And unfortunately, it's not over here. Wow. Some big formations. Like a playground up here. You could just run around for hours. Never see all the tiers and all the tiers of rocks and different views. Really cool environment. Alright. I think I'm going to skirt along the top here for a little bit and then head down. Probably stop up here and eat something real quick. I'm getting hungry. Actually, speaking of that, I expected to see lots of blueberries up here, but none that I saw. Oh yeah, I knew I'd come out the other side of this mountain and find a good place to sit down and have a snack. I think right here's the place. Wow. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, as I was coming off the mountain, you know, there were several big rocky plates I came across that were not at the very peak, obviously, but they were very exposed. And I mean, I no more came off the last one and just went around a corner, and I mean, it let loose. I heard a couple of thunder claps, and yeah, it started pouring. I tried to get my camera on to tell you, but it was like, I couldn't even get it to work. You know how that is. It was too wet. And anyway, so yeah, looks like the rest of the day might be like this. I don't know how long this is supposed to last. But it's nice. It's pretty refreshing. It's obviously going to slow me down a little, but that's all right. I didn't have that big of a plan anyway, so might be a little wet in camp tonight, trying to get everything dried up. But otherwise, this is nice. I didn't even have time to put my rain pants on, so my regular pants are soaking wet, and that's just okay because it's really nice out. No chance of getting hypothermia or anything. So, all right. All right. Well, it's a couple hours later now, and the storm only lasted maybe an hour. Wasn't really much of a storm. Just some heavy rain. I mean, there was some thunder and stuff, but nothing close or anything. So winds weren't too high or anything like that. So anyway, just got everything soaking wet, and all the rocks are really slippery. So I gotta be careful here. Actually, not all the rocks are slippery. Some are perfectly great. And then you hit that one. And there's quite a few ones here. There's a whole bunch of these rounded off kind of rocks that are really slippery. So yeah, it was good. I needed to rain. Gave me a little respite from the bugs for an hour or two. Now they're back. And, whoop, little frog. And I wasn't sure the rain was done. It was pretty dark for a while. And still hearing thunder and all that. But the thunder started moving away after an hour, and then now the sun's out, as you can see. So I think we're good for a while. So you can probably see I'm out on flat ground now, not doing up and down too much. And this is what the rest of the day should look like. Probably got about 7 or 8 miles left. And then I'll just find a spot to camp or to tent out somewhere. Probably won't stay at a shelter. There's a shelter up here about 5 or 6 miles, but I don't think I'm going to stay there. Yeah, unless, you know, starts raining sideways or something, then all bets are off. So I think there's another big river up here that says it needs to be forded, but I met a southbounder back there a little ways who is a lasher like I am, just doing long section hike. I just started at Katahdin, and he's going to go into Vermont, and then, you know, with the idea of finishing the AT someday. And he said that this river up here was pretty easy rock hop, so don't even need to get in it and ford it. So that's good. So I don't know, kind of boring. Just enjoying it out here. It's really pretty now that it rains, so just hike for a few more hours, and probably only like maybe 3. I should be able to call it a day. Well, I just came out of the trail right here, and I'm supposed to go right across there, but I think I'm pretty far ahead on things and I could use some lunch. So I think I saw this little area down here, nice and kind of cleared out, and there's a log that's in the shade. I think I might just sit down here and have some lunch, and then head over to the trail. Listen to the stream. Can't get any better than that. Well, this is the west branch of the Piscataqui River, and not sure where the trail goes across, but somewhere I'm supposed to ford this, but I think I can hop it. It says that normally this is knee high. When there's been a lot of rain, it can be dangerous, so be really careful. But you know, this isn't even close to knee high. This is like ankle high best, I think. So there's even like a big long rope here, I think, for people to kind of utilize in case it's too dangerous. But I mean, it's not an issue now, so I'll just head across this. And then depending on how far I go today, I probably will not cross the east branch of the Piscataqui today, but if I can't find good water up until there, then I will. I'll go further until I get to that. And if not, then I'll cross the east branch tomorrow on my way into Monson. This little river. Well, I crossed paths with a Sobo hiker here just a little bit ago, and you know, we talked about several things, but one of the things he said was, wow, your pack is small. And you know, it is very small. I've had a lot of people comment on that this year, and I have gone through a lot of explanations with a lot of people on the trail, and you know, in shelters and things, just about how I got it, you know, that small, what I cut out, all this kind of stuff. And it's funny, I get a lot of mixed reactions, you know. Some people are like, oh yeah, good idea, that, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. You know, so, some people just listen to my whole laundry list and go, well, I can't do without that. Well, I'm not doing that. Well, I need that. Well, I want, you know, and that's okay too. It just means obviously their pack won't get any lighter. So, it was quite a process to get my pack this light. And honestly, I couldn't get it much lighter. I mean, there's only so much you can give up, you know, before you just have nothing. I mean, you have to eat and you have to have, you know, stuff to save your life, like with warmth, like a sleeping bag, you know, and you have to be able to keep that sleeping bag dry, and you have to have food, you know, whatever. There's some basic things. So, so anyway, it's been kind of fun actually talking to people about it, you know, and getting their reactions and seeing them go, oh, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that. Or, you know, why haven't I done that yet or something. But anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is I'll do a video when I get back home. Not right away. Once I get home and get school going and get a few things done and eat 100 meals and gain a little weight back, and then, you know, maybe sometime before the winter gets too far in or something, I'll try to put a video together that sort of shows where I started, you know, when my pack was 36 pounds with 4 days worth of food, to where I am now, where it's, you know, 21 or 22 pounds with 4 days worth of food and water. And just kind of explain, you know, what I let go of, what I had to buy new, you know, because some of it is not bringing stuff, not taking some things that you don't need, but some of it's having better gear, you know, more expensive gear usually that weighs a lot less, and so I can kind of go through that whole process. So yeah, I'll try and do something like that in the next few months. I'm getting close to a shelter up here, a lean-to, and I just crossed paths with a guy going south, and he goes, I just went by the lean-to and there was no issue, and I talked to somebody else who was there and she said she didn't have an issue, but some guys told me a little while back that there were some hornets right there at the intersection there where you turn into lean-to, so to be careful. So anyway, I guess I'll be careful, whatever that means. I did, I think it was last night, but it might have been 2 nights ago, as I was hiking, getting close to where I was going to tent. I did actually pass right under a hornet's nest, which I don't even know if I've actually really ever seen one other than that out in the wild. Yow! Dang, that rock was not supposed to be there. Anyway, you know, I just walked under it and went cool and kept on going, so I don't know if hornets, I mean, I know they can be something to deal with, but I don't hardly know what to do, so, or what sets them off. So I will just, like, you know, not throw rocks at them and probably be okay. We'll see. I just met Brad, who is a trail runner out here. His trail name is Malibu. And anyway, he was giving me a little info about a lot of stuff. First of all, he said he put a note on the hornet thing up here, so somewhere not far, he said a quarter mile, and that was, you know, a little while back, so they're there, and he said just, they don't seem to be out and doing anything, so just stay away. So I'm sure I'll see that. And he was telling me a little information about, you know, what's coming up at the end of my hike. You know, having to do with Baxter State Park, where Katahdin is, and where you can stay, and different things like that. So there's an ATC headquarters in Monson, where I'll be tomorrow. And he said go in and talk to Wendy there, and she can tell me kind of all about that stuff and how it all works. So that's cool. I will plan on doing that and hopefully have a lot more info tomorrow. And that's all. I'm ready to find a tent site. Well, I have probably gone a mile. I passed the shelter that I know was about a mile away anyway. Never saw a note, never saw a hornet's nest, never saw a hornet. So I'm still alive. All right, there's my last water crossing for the day. I just did it. Just came across. And this one actually is deep enough that like the path is straight across there. And you're supposed to come up right here and ford it, but there's a beaver dam over there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's in there anyway. And I was able to kind of get through there and not get very wet, so fantastic. And then you come right up here and the AT goes that way. But there's a little campsite right here. So I am setting up here for the night. It's been a long day.